My name is Davis Jambo, and I'm here today to talk to the Member of Parliament for Funyula, Dr. Mudenyo, on the impact of CDF since it was launched. If you remember, we are celebrating 20 years of CDF launch. Mheshimiwa, was the CDF establishment a good idea?
Yes, it was more than a good idea. If I take you back several years before the CDF came up, we used to have district focus for rural development that was implemented at by then the DC's office, by the DC's office that tried to direct, and we defined all districts used to have a strategic plan or a development plan that would somehow direct developments. Unfortunately, being the bureaucratic system it was, run by the national government and by the central government as it was known then, it didn't have a lot of impact. And you remember many times, parents and the community had to undertake harambes to do in the very, very basics in the schools and the other community projects. I would say the impact of CDF in the various forms it has changed over time has been so wonderful, so momentous, that for sure, wherever you walk around, in many parts of this country, what you see the most visible is CDF projects. It has done wonders.
As an MP, what are the criteria that you use to allocate CDF funds?
The Act itself gives very clear guidelines on how to allocate funds to the various projects. At the very beginning, at the start of each election cycle, NMP together the new CDFC committee are required to undertake public participation. And that public participation should be as public as it can be, to the very minimum at the ward level. So after that public participation, members of public will give you their priority projects which they want to have. In our case for Funyula, we always do it after every 2 years as required in the Act, and unlike probably the minimum provided for in the Act, as we go all the way to each location, we hold one meeting in each location where members of public and key stakeholders come over to give their views, their comments, and the rest. In addition, we receive a lot of feedback and a lot of information through normal interaction. As a member of parliament, I walk around the constituency, I interact with the people. As a member of parliament, we are in social media, we interact with the people. Occasionally, you find emergencies occur, like the wind has blown off a roof, a toilet has sunk because of weak soils, and those kind of things. So therefore, through that process, you know how the CDFC committee prioritizes the projects and decide this which will be funded this financial year, this will be funded in the next financial year. But I must hasten to add that the funds we are given are not adequate to cover all the requirements or the demands that are due in the constituency.
What are some of the notable gains of CDF in Funyula constituency that you can highlight?
At the current regime, I mean during CDF has been there since Mzee Mudia was the MP. Actually, when it was initiated, he was the sitting member of parliament then. Then Honorable Dr. Paulo Tuoma came in, and I came in.
And
our term has been to expand reach in the education sector. Over the years, we have managed to pay for very many children in school, which was not the case then. On average, we pay for about 7,000 to 8,000 students cutting across in secondary schools, both day and body. We pay for about 2,000 or so in tertiaries and the universities. So because of that, the school retention has been higher. Generally, the school dropout in Funyula constituency for the last 7 or so years probably could be regarded one of the lowest in the entire Busia County. I've just been looking at the statistics. we are less than 0.1% school dropout because of that bursary and the fairness and the equitable and accountable process of award of the bursary.
I know, Mheshimiwa, because I come from that place, you have initiated so many projects. But which one is that one project that anytime you wake up and somebody talks about CDF, your mind clicks on it, but it's very close to your heart?
Father Martin Reich, it's very close to my heart because one, it was an area that had no schools, a school at all. It was an area also a very clear manifestation of collaboration between CDF and the Catholic Church, being a Catholic. We started off with literally nothing. And within a matter of days, when we built the first classroom, we had almost 100 kids coming in, flocking in. Just one classroom. So it has given us the impetus to proceed and move on and move on. Of course, the other project also close to my heart is the St. Cecilia Nangina Girls House High School Multipurpose Hall. When we came in, the project had slowed down. The school had tried to use their own funds. They had not made much progress. So we came in and we have contributed to an extent where we are.
As a sitting member of parliament, I know you have a lot of plans with CDF, and just maybe, just to highlight, what do you think that moving forward, your intention, your targets, some of the projects that you think you've not implemented and are planning to implement? So what can your people expect moving forward?
Okay. I'm sure my people also know there has been very many court challenges on CDF. So many of the plans we're going to have are short-term plans until we navigate through the NADICO report and entrench CDF in the Constitution. But holding all factors constant, during Uhuru's last term, the Ajira digital program, we never managed to put up any because, as I said earlier, the demand for the two small projects to meet emerging requirements meant that we couldn't do much. We want to do, the first priority we want to do is basically Ajira Digital Center. And I want to do something, what in our conceptualization we are saying, the past, the present, and the future can converge together. So in that, we want to put up a complex. That one will have the biggest Ajira Digital Center, probably in the entire Western region. We want to have somewhere we'll have an art gallery. We want to have a library. And we want to have a performing studio. Remember now with this new CBC, there's one of those pathways, which is art and those kind of things. Not many schools can afford to do all those things. So that's why we are saying we want to have a central place that all the surrounding schools can be bringing their boys and girls for purposes of practicals inside there.